You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Dean Johnson.
The AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California. Presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AFTERBUZZ TV's Doctor Who After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's Doctor Who After Show.
We're doing Season 7, Episode 11, Journey to the Center of the TARDIS.
Yes.
I don't know why I said it in that voice.
Yes. Everyone, that is the lovely and wonderful Jenna Busch.
Hello, here with the lovely and wonderful Matt Lieberman.
Oh, stop.
You're lovely.
I am lovely, aren't I?
You are.
Yes. And we had an episode which everyone, I think every fan was looking forward to this episode. Yeah. I read an article this week that talked about, Stephen Moffat, since Let's Kill Hitler, has been toying with these very sexy titles for episodes, and the name for the final episode of the season is also a big sexy title.
The name of the Doctor.
Yeah, and the title Journey to the Center of the TARDIS probably bore the most promise of any episode title we've really ever had, except perhaps since Let's Kill Hitler.
That's got to be arguably the best title ever.
Yeah, but before we jump in this episode, I just want to talk about, because I know I liked the episode. It wasn't perfect, and it wasn't necessarily what I'm sure many fans wanted when they heard the title. Yeah. But I want to talk about Let's Kill Hitler in the same context.
Okay.
Where we were given this title and then given months to wait. Yeah. Which we got this title months and months ago. And I don't know about everyone else. I had visions dancing in my head
of sugar plums.
No, but of just like extended, like they're on some sort of like man on a mission thing to actually kill Hitler. And that there was going to be long extended Hitler sequences, and Hitler is maybe in 3 minutes of that episode. Yeah. And it was an episode that ultimately was not about Hitler at all. Right. And it became one of my very favorites. Yeah. This episode, the actual journey to the center of the TARDIS, is incidental to the larger plot.
Yes, it is.
And I think it bothered a lot of people.
I would be one of those people.
Tell me about it, Jenna.
Okay. And I recognize that the title and the anticipation of what I thought I was going to see is part of my disappointment. Yes. I'm not saying bad episode. I'm not saying that at all. Okay. I think, though, the thing about the TARDIS is it's been tantalizingly teased at us over the entire history of Doctor Who. Look at this little glimpse of this. Look at this really cool thing. Let me mention this really awesome thing. Yeah. And Journey to the Center of the TARDIS did imply that we were going to maybe see things. Now, there was the one room. There was the one cool room with Amy's TARDIS in it and all that.
Yeah, what was ostensibly the Doctor's bedroom, I think.
Yeah, and that was cool. Yeah. But once I saw that, I thought, oh, good, we're going to go from room to room. Instead, it was something like, and guys, if you watch Farscape, maybe you'll understand what I'm talking about. A lot of corridors. Yeah. A lot of corridors.
And just about every episode we've seen where they've explored more of the TARDIS, it has mostly been corridors. These weren't the same corridors as the Doctor's wife.
That's true. There were different corridors.
But these are definitely corridors that we've seen before, reskinned as TARDIS corridors.
Yes. Stabby corridors.
Stabby corridors.
And I think the disappointment here was really that we were going to get a glimpse into, I think, for me, more of the Doctor, because you see things in the TARDIS.
Right. We were going to see reveal character through environment.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I missed that. I think maybe if I hadn't heard the title,
Yeah.
I wouldn't have built it up over many, many months.
And this, you know, this speaks to the nature of fandom nowadays. I mean, when we were getting our Russell T. Davies episodes, for those of us who were watching the show when it was still airing for the first time in the States, you know, months after it aired in Britain, unless you were a mega fan, you didn't know any details. And all of the surprises were fresh. And I think that even carried over into the 5th season. But then the 6th season started getting problematic for me because that was when I was actually looking for details and hunting for spoilers, and it's carried over into this season. And I think season 6 and season 7 are going to be ultimately viewed in a very similar fashion. Where there are, in fact, a few standout episodes, but I could not recommend the season as a whole.
No.
I think it will age well, and I think it will be viewed for its strengths a few years from now. Yeah,
you know what? I actually agree with that, because I mean, I think that there are definitely things once we get to meatier parts of Clara.
Yes.
And then it will sort of be just fun to watch her with the Doctor through, and then I'll be able to appreciate it more. But I'm missing all the, and there was some mystery. I mean, there was some stuff this week, but I'm missing, I don't know, I'm missing the mystery. These are just standalone episodes for me.
See, but for me, what's missing, it isn't mystery, because there is a mystery,
it's there.
But the reason why it isn't compelling, and this is the thing that I feel has been missing from this season and last season too, is a level of charm.
Yeah, that you're absolutely right. And
charm.
I think that's the exact word for it, because again, I was also missing the chemistry. I'm still not seeing it the way it was, and that I think is part of a huge part of the charm.
I feel like we got a couple little glimpses of it this week, but I want to talk about season 5 versus everything that has come since. Where it was a blend of, you know, we had for the first time really a nicely arced mystery with the cracks in time, but we had a fresh, fun relationship between Amy and the Doctor before Amy got grating, before the Doctor got dark, and it blended whimsy and mystery in a nice way. The reason why I love Dinosaurs on a Spaceship, and many other people I feel didn't, is because it was whimsy first, everything else second. Everything else was at the expense of whimsy, and I would love it if maybe we had carved out a little of that whimsy and like spread it on top of the rest of the season's toast.
Like Nutella.
Yes.
Actually, I have to restate something I said before. I said Let's Kill Hitler was the best title ever, but it's actually Dinosaurs on a Spaceship.
Okay, yeah.
It's really, I mean, that...
No, I as much as I love Dinosaurs on a Spaceship, Let's Kill Hitler is the best title of any episode of the series. Like, just the promise of that, it was like a joke title when you saw it at the end of A Good Man Goes to War, which is one of those episodes that when I saw it I liked a lot. Now I hate that episode. Like, River Song spinning in a circle firing a blaster is one of the weakest narrative moments I think in the entire modern series. But that's not this episode. Let's talk brass tacks.
All right. Well, first of all, I do think it was funny that she said something about him being only going out with a girl if his mother approves.
That was
referring
funny.
to the TARDIS, of course.
Yeah. His mother and his wife.
Oh, it's all sorts of twisted.
It's all sorts of creepy twisted.
I thought it was cute, though. I do think the relationship between Clara and the TARDIS is very interesting. And
I think that her relationship with the Doctor is interesting, and we saw it start to evolve at the top of this episode when he was teaching her how to fly it. Yeah, which was a really nice scene.
Yeah, I liked it. In fact, as I started watching it, because, you know, obviously, if you guys have been watching, you know, I haven't been exactly thrilled with 7.5. So as it started and I'm seeing this banter, and I'm like, oh, okay, it's finally happening. We're finally in it, which is, and I'll talk about this later, what I'm hoping for next week. I'm going to keep hoping until it happens. But it dissolved, and then there's this, you know, B storyline. Not that I don't think there should be one. Right. With Robot Boy.
Yeah. Well, that's what I think the main drawback to this episode was, and it's something that it happened to me recently when I was writing a comedy sketch involving Superman having a call-in show, and he was trying to save people through therapy instead of physically, and I was trying to do too much with it, and that's what happened with this episode. They were trying to do too much when it should have just been something goes wrong with the TARDIS machinery, and the Doctor and Clara have to race to the center of the TARDIS in time before it explodes.
And also, they could go through rooms instead of corridors.
Exactly. And that could have been the entire episode.
Yeah.
Was just building on the relationship of the two of them and getting them through all of the muck of distrust and getting them on a nice even footing so we can have that screwball banter.
Yeah, it would have been an incredible character piece.
Yes, it would have like do you watch Breaking Bad?
I have seen much of Breaking Bad.
Okay.
I'm not done yet.
There's an episode of Breaking Bad where the entire 48 minutes is just the two main characters trying to catch a fly. It is essentially a play. And this could have been a play with just several fun backdrops.
Yeah, and I would have been absolutely fine with that because it's not like I have to explore each room in the TARDIS. I just want to see them.
Yeah, I want to see them for more than a second. I don't want a close-up where Clara like looks around and then walks out and it's just a swimming pool in the background.
Right.
That was like that was like a huge letdown. Instead of being fan service, it was like, oh God, they're going to be looking for this swimming pool. We better give it to them.
I felt like it was giving the finger to the fans, really.
Yeah.
Because don't put it in and continue to tease it, although that would have been really...
yeah, oh, we would have been complaining either way.
We would have, but really, that was just like, fine, they want to see the pool? Look at the pool. We're done. Yeah. Like, you couldn't have put one scene there.
Or it couldn't have just been like a funny thing, like when she was in the library, which I thought was a very beautiful environment. Right. And of course, there has to be a big book that just says the history of the Time War, which we don't get to read. Which was like, I will call that cute. It was a cute wink. I would have loved it because originally the pool was in the library in the last iteration of the TARDIS. Yep. As she's walking over, she sees this book and she walks over to it and she accidentally dunks her foot into just the tiniest pool ever. Yep. And it's just really, really small. And that would have been really a funny thing.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, they even could have done a thing with the pool where they both ran past it and she's like, I didn't know you had a pool. Even something as silly as that. Yeah. Okay, there's the pool. Now you've nodded to it. But it was just kind of...
Or do the reveal of the fact that he's not an android by having him fall in the pool
and
not shorting out.
Yeah.
What's happening? I must be the most invincible, the most invincible android that's ever been built.
I know. Like, there were so many funny ways to do it that they didn't have to do it that way. Like, it could have been a quick thing. It could have been a CG pool. I mean, it's just a tiny little thing, but... I just felt like there were so many opportunities here for things like that and just things to give fans. Now, I know in the book she does figure out the Doctor's name. Yes. And she is, excuse me, going to forget it.
Memory wipe.
And that may be a thing that comes up in the final episode, and that might have been a setup for it. But it just seemed like she was so like, oh, fine, okay, I'll forget everything.
We have a fun piece of news that will affect more theories that we're going to reveal later on in the show. So stick around for that if you love spoilers.
Spoilers.
Yes. I want to take a quick moment and mention that this is not the first time we've seen more of the TARDIS in the grand history of Doctor Who. Stephen Moffat said that the episode emerged from his feelings of disappointment over watching a Tom Baker episode, The Invasion of Time, which had a journey through the TARDIS that he felt was not very impressive. Yeah. Which, like, if you were that bothered by it, then make it the most grand and epic thing ever. Yeah. And not have our little zombie putty people.
Yeah, and you know, okay, yeah.
Which ultimately, cool device that they were them after they had been burnt to a crisp.
Except the character design was terrible if that was the case.
That and I legitimately thought that the conjoined ones were Amy and Rory because one of them had breasts. Yep. If you look, it's a female stuntman.
Yep.
Yeah. So what's happening?
I know, and as I said, the character design is terrible because if that is not, I did makeup for a long time. That's not what it looks like if you have a character burn. That was a zombie.
It looked like somebody, like a kindergartner was making like a doll out of clay. Yes. And then got their first scoring tool and were just like putting jagged edges everywhere and then stuck little glowing red eyes in there.
Yeah, it totally did not work. And also, I mean, the whole thing with retconning the entire episode, like it didn't happen.
It's not the first time.
I know, and I read comic books, so like I'm comfortable with the idea of retconning. But for an episode that should have been so good, to say, oh, hey, here are all these things. No, they're not.
Yeah.
Psych.
Here's something that, and people who watch or listen to the show, reach out to us and let us know what you think on this. Have we had enough episodes that we had such high expectations, and then, we're let down by this season? Are we as fans expecting too much because of how much we love the show? Because if you look back, I mean, I love this show very much, and there are tons of great episodes. Don't get me wrong. Even some stretches where multiple episodes in a row are very good.
Yeah.
They can't all be classics.
That's true.
And there's maybe, with a few seasons being the exception to the rule, maybe 4 good, really, really good episodes in a season.
Right.
And we've already had a couple.
Yeah.
So are we letting ourselves down as fans by expecting it to be Shakespeare, essentially?
Right. Well, okay, so here's the thing. I agree with you totally, and I think that goes for all shows, that there are usually 4 really major standouts. Like, I don't think every episode has to be perfect with every show, and I'll still love it.
Yeah.
And I've been a Doctor Who fan for a very long time, but I don't think there's ever been a season, or in this case, half of a season, where I've consistently disliked this many episodes in a row. Ever. I mean, whether or not I love, and I can tell you which seasons I think are best or worst or whatever, but I've never had a stretch like this.
I have. Second half of season 6. Everything after Let's Kill Hitler, I strongly dislike.
You see, I didn't love it as much as other stuff, but I don't think I ever halfway through the episode felt like, you know what, I'm really hungry. I'll pause this for a little while and go get a snack. Like, I mean, I've never done that with Doctor Who. Never.
Wow.
Even if I haven't loved an episode, I have never done that. I will sit there and watch the entire thing, and I'll usually watch it a second time.
Yeah. Since
this season has started, every time I watch an episode, I am bored, and I'm very upset about that, because honestly, I keep waiting for it to change, and considering we're in the 7th season now, and I've gone all of that time, I don't think it's a failing of the show in general, and I don't think it's going to continue. I'm just disappointed in this stretch.
Now, Jenna, I'm gonna take you to task here, though, because in the first half of the 7th season, you reviewed several episodes very favorably.
No, I'm just talking about the second half of the season.
Okay.
Yeah, only since it's come back. And I'm not even talking about the Christmas special, because I loved that.
Yeah.
This is it's only from the beginning of 7.5.
Okay, which we have to again, it's been 5 episodes.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but there aren't that many left. I mean, and the first half of the season, I actually really, really loved. So, but even whatever, the episodes you're talking about, like there are some that I dislike, but I've never, ever been like this. I've never been bored. Even if I haven't loved it, I've never been bored. And I've been bored this half of the season.
And I've seen those same feelings echoed by a lot of fans, but not a lot of critics.
Yeah.
A lot of critics are actually very satisfied, I've found, with this half of the season. And I am willing to give it the benefit of the doubt. I think in the grand history of this show, season 7 will rank higher than season 3 for me, or for the majority of season 2 for me.
I think the first half of the season will rank very high for me. The second half, unless something changes, the second half for me is and I feel terrible saying this, because I love the show, and every week I want it to make me happy. And just like next week, I'm hoping that having Madame Vastra and Jenny and Strax, who I love, having them back is going to pull it out. But I thought this week was going to do it too.
Well, I think depending on how much of this week's development was retconned on the part of JLC, which I'm pretty sure. Like, correct me.
Okay.
Does she or does she not remember that the Doctor has met her before?
I don't believe so.
Wasn't made clear to me. Like the way it was tied up at the end.
Yeah.
Which, like, but that's the same thing. It's the kind of flourish that we would have squealed over 2 years ago.
Yeah.
of just like, oh my, he's stepping through a rift through time. He's talking to himself.
Yeah.
And like that thing from earlier in the episode that I saw, I'm like, but she had it, but how did he have it? And then it all paid off. We would be like over the moon about this. Have we seen all of this era of Doctor Who, all of their bag of tricks? Are we over the tricks?
I don't know.
And is that all that they were?
I don't know. You know what? I tend to like tricks. I don't know. I think that what I'm still missing more than anything else. I don't know that it's the tricks. I don't even mind things being recycled, reused, storylines, all that stuff, because it's going to happen over this many years. Yeah. It's the chemistry that I'm missing. It's just not there. I think, and as we talked about last week, I think there is so much potential for chemistry. These two, I mean, it's ridiculous how much chemistry they have, and I just don't see it at all in these past few episodes. Yeah. And it's frustrating to me because, and the thing is, it's not like I would ever give up on the show. I'm Doctor Who fan for life, so it doesn't really matter what they do. I'm going to keep watching it. I just want to see the chemistry. I want to see the interesting story again. And I think after the whole, you know, the whole beginning of season 6 and the storyline that was there, and we talked about this last week too. Yeah. This doesn't fascinate me in any way. I don't know. I mean, the mystery is there. It's a really interesting story. I mean, we don't know what this person is, how she's connected to her other iterations, all of that stuff. But it's not compelling me because there's nothing, like you said, there's no charm in it right now. There's no charm. And, I mean, if we're comparing it to past mysteries, we would have had a more significant development by now. Yeah. Like you look at season 5 is a great example. Season 5 is season 4 and season 5 are my favorite seasons of the show. Yeah. Season 5's mystery, we got a significant plot advancement in episode 4 of the show. Yeah. We established it in episode 1. By the time we had the Time of Angels, we received an advancement of the plot. Yeah. Where we came to the cracks affected more people. We saw something that we didn't understand that didn't get paid back until way later. And we got some exploration of what they were and what the effects would be later on. And then we got it again, maybe 4 episodes after that, with The Hungry Earth and Cold Blood, where we had Rory get sucked up by the crack in time. Yep. You know, so we got significant nuggets along the way, and I feel like next week, since we're revisiting Victorian London. And if you look at the promo pics, you know, JLC is looking very much like her former self. Yes. I think we're gonna get a nice juicy clue. Yeah. Well, okay. So we can mention that because not that we're talking about details of that episode, but the little short webisode thing with Madame Vastra and Jenny and Strax. That was early on before the season restarted. Yeah. That I found more charming than anything I've seen so far. It was purely comedy. Yeah. It was purely comedy, and I feel like it's so funny because there are jokes in these episodes. Yeah. There are jokes in these episodes, but they're not often between our two leads. Yeah. Or they don't carry over the course. Yeah. You know, like no matter how dangerous things got, in season 5, it was always played light. Yeah. Which, like, some fans are like, no, I want it dark. I want my dark, hardcore Doctor Who, which has never really existed. Yeah, that's true. It hasn't. So, like, I feel like we don't know what we want anymore. We want the magic, but there's no way to describe it in any kind of useful fashion for us, for the creative team, for anyone involved. I think that if someone were to watch these episodes as a full season streaming years down the line, or even a year from now, when they're posted on Netflix and someone's starting the show for the first time, they will find them adequate, and they will find the strengths in Cold Blood and in in Cold War and in Hyde, which I thought were very strong, and they'll see the positive elements of this episode. One thing that I love is we had an element of the TARDIS that we hadn't seen since Doctor Who the movie in '96, which was the Eye of Harmony, which was the big, glowy, dangerous nuclear thing. The splody thing? The splody thing. Yeah. Yeah. Which, like, that's actually my favorite TARDIS of all time, is the Doctor Who the movie TARDIS, which
other than that, there's not much else to recommend that
At least it has
movie.
something.
Yeah, but that whole like steampunk, intricate, like Tim Burton-y set was so cool. Like that's one thing. Maybe it wouldn't have landed right, but I desperately wanted some old TARDIS consoles. I know that would have been...
Yeah, you had been asking for that for a while.
I know, but then as I watched the episode and it wasn't coming, I'm like, they basically did that in Doctor's Wife.
Yeah, they did.
They basically did. It was like, how many fan winks were they really going to be able to give us in a satisfying way that didn't hurt the story?
Yeah. Well, for me, I mean, I don't necessarily think I needed, like, I don't know, little nods to things or recalls to previous episodes.
Yeah.
I just wanted to see some other rooms.
Yeah.
You know, like when Amy and Rory are talking about the bedroom, or they're talking about, I don't know, I just wanted to see more of that. I just wanted to see rooms.
Yeah.
And the thing is, it's not like it would have been that expensive to do. I don't need to see flashy things in the room. Just want to see the room.
Yeah.
Just want to see what it looks like.
No, there are ways to do it that wouldn't have been a guided tour, but I'm sure that was like the fear.
Hell, if they ran through 2 rooms that I had not seen before.
Or even just like like a fun like Hall of Doors sequence where they're literally just running through room after room after room, and she's like, "Doctor, where are you going?" It's like, "Keep up," and she's seeing all this awesome stuff.
Yeah.
And she doesn't have time to see it or talk about it.
That I would have found that funny. Honestly, I would have enjoyed that.
That's the thing. There wasn't really any comedy in this episode.
None.
And
No.
this is the perfect kind of like caper romp to make like, you know, like a 4-quadrant crowd pleaser, you know, just fun episode.
Yeah. Instead, we had 2 brothers being absolutely horrendous to their little brother and convincing him he's a robot.
Which, if it was not this episode, I found
it was an interesting story.
I found it fairly redeemable. The emotion was real. And I liked those characters.
I did too, and I liked the performances.
The
I
Van
just don't
Baalen
think it
brothers.
belonged in this episode.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't even mind anyone arguing with me about that.
Yeah.
I think I was just disappointed because what I expected was not there.
I think one thing that I wasn't necessarily asking for, but I'm glad we got to see sort of the living brain of the TARDIS that helps it reconfigure itself.
Yeah.
And we got to see what happens when you screw with it.
Yeah.
That was really cool. The implications of which should have been Jenna. It should have been Jenna, like, removed it or touched it, or like, you know, she got into that room and then the door shut after and the doctor's pounding on it trying to get her out, and the TARDIS is literally, you know, having a showdown with Jenna, like mentally, or like in some kind of like sci-fi dreamscape. There are just so many different cool ways to explore character with this premise that did not get to happen.
Yeah.
And I can't, like, that's the thing. No matter how good this episode is, and I'm sure the further we get from it, we're going to appreciate it more.
Yeah, I agree with that.
There were at least 50 logline pitches that would have been better.
Yeah, I guarantee you, if we said on Twitter right now, guys, what would you like to have seen in this episode? I guarantee you, I'm going to get 10 immediately that I would have enjoyed more than.
But that's a different question.
Oh, of course.
That's a different question.
Oh no, of course it is. Of course it is. But and you're right. I think it's possible that some of the stuff that we've seen in all these episodes that I haven't really noticed or enjoyed is set up for something else that I probably will.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it can't continue like this. At some point, these two people do have wonderful chemistry, so
they need
to
to like each other already.
Yes.
On every level.
Please.
Gosh darn it. I mean, it's like if we, that's the problem with retconning everything, is they'd finally gotten over a lot of their crap.
Yeah.
They had. And I was like, okay, even if this isn't, you know, above an 8 on a 10 scale, like, at least we're past that and we can just get them. She should just freaking kiss him again.
Yeah, I would be fine with that.
I'm
sure he would too.
Yeah. She should just kiss him again, and then, you know, have the trust be, you know, on, or like the lack of trust be more on theme with, you know, the burgeoning stages of a relationship.
Yeah, well, see, I think you hit the nail on the head. Wow, can't speak tonight. Hit the nail on the head.
Yes.
I think that their chemistry has suffered because they're trying to play that part of trying to play the we don't really particularly like or trust each other, but that only really works. It's almost like playing drunk where you have to play like I'm sober.
Yeah.
The attraction and all of the chemistry has to be there to have the I don't trust you work when you have two leads that are carrying the entire show.
Yeah, and they need to be having fun.
Yeah.
And they haven't gotten to have tons of fun. You know, a lot of the charm and the comedy is coming from outside characters. We saw it in Cold War with David Warner's scientist character getting the majority of the jokes, and they were very funny, and his character was adorable.
Yeah, I really liked his character a lot.
Was adorable. But that adorableness should have been coming from, you know, like, where's our come along pond moment?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I know. I do find it frustrating, and guys, I know that it sucks to hear, we were just talking about this before the show, it sucks to hear a fan say, I'm not happy with things, but I'm not happy with things, and I want them to change because I love these characters, and I'm invested in this show, and I want it to get back on track.
Yeah, stick with us the same way that we want you to stick with Doctor Who, and that like, if I'm being like that's the thing is if we're being critical, it is only because we know how much this show is capable of.
Yeah.
We know how talented everyone involved is, and we know how much we love it, and what we want to see as huge mega fans.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to get it on a level, you know, from the finale, from the Neil Gaiman episode, from the 50th anniversary episode, still to come. But we wanted it all season, and who wouldn't?
Exactly. And honestly, there's no way I'm not going to love something written by Neil Gaiman. I am a huge fan of his books, his comics, and obviously the last episode, as you all know, is one of my favorites of all time.
It's one of the best.
Yeah, so I have no doubt that episode will be awesome.
Yes.
Mark my words. I'm saying it now.
Yeah.
If seriously, if I don't like, I won't even.
This isn't all too good to be true.
I refuse to accept that I wouldn't love it.
Yeah. I have a question.
Yes.
And this is another one of my like big questions about fandom in this show.
Yes.
What would we be saying right now if we were reviewing the third season as it aired?
Did you bring condoms?
That's exactly what I would have said.
That's exactly what we would have said.
That is no question. That would have been it.
That would have been it. Phil Svitek, our producer, everybody. Well, I'm just saying, you know, like that season especially to me has its detractors. You know, Martha is a divisive companion because she got hamstrung with that, you know, that crush. And, you know, honestly, a lot of the episodes, as I rewatched it, are a lot stronger than I remember.
Yeah, and I hope that happens with this for me. I mean, I really do hope that there are so many things going on in this episode that will pay off later that I'll really enjoy rewatching. I mean, that's part of the reason I love Doctor Who is that you can go back and watch and go, oh, that's what that meant.
But here's the thing. It's similar to this season in that you're always going to have a backlash after a popular companion is sent off in an emotional fashion.
Yeah.
You know, when we said goodbye to Rose, like that was as flawless a finale as I think that creative team could have put together. It's still like really, really powerful. And no matter what she could have done, Freema Agyeman was in an unenviable situation.
Yep.
Stepping into a show that people adored with a character that people adored, and then, you know, she couldn't be Rose Tyler. And I think that no matter what we know Jenna Louise Coleman is capable of, you know, unless they're exceeding what we got in season 5 and season 6, you know, it's going to be a disappointment because we had built up such a love for Amy Pond and Rory Williams.
Yeah.
By the time that, you know, things started to kind of decline.
Yeah, it's true. Although I have to say, Martha's not, she's my least favorite companion. But that doesn't mean I didn't like her. I did. But I think the problem for me here is I saw the awesomeness of JLC.
Yes.
And now it's not there.
Yes.
And it's not that, and please understand, I don't dislike her at all. I really do like her. And even at this level, I still like her.
Okay.
I just don't like them.
Yeah.
And I love him too. Lots of love. It's just the chemistry that I'm missing because I already saw it. I saw how awesome it was. We saw how great it could be. We even saw that in the interviews. So even though I was very sad about the Ponds, because I did love the Ponds, I was willing to love Clara. I still am.
Yeah.
Because she's just adorable.
Yeah.
And their chemistry was so good that I was like, I could easily watch the two of them discuss phone numbers.
I could eat them up.
You could.
They are. It's like a fluffernutter sandwich. It's marshmallow fluff peanut butter.
Right.
Who couldn't love that?
Bring that back.
Yeah.
Bring that back.
Bring more marshmallow fluff.
I like marshmallow fluff.
Yeah. I think it's time we get into the realm of speculation.
I agree.
All right. I was expecting the yeah.
And now,
I love that music so much.
Predictions.
I don't have an official thing for the realm of.
I know. We'll record it. We'll record it, Phil.
We will.
We'll record it.
The realm of speculation.
Yeah. So, Jenna Louise Coleman was in an interview this week, where she alluded that the 2 times that the Doctor has met her previously may not be the only times that he has met her in his history.
Right.
Leading some to speculate that she is in fact a new regeneration of Romana.
I have heard this.
Yeah.
I have heard this. It's an interesting theory.
Yeah.
And I would be fine with that.
I don't think it necessarily adds up with the clues we have so far.
I don't either, but
but I would love to see her as someone that he's met before unknowingly, because then we're going to get like a nice, or at least I hope, a nice great montage of sequences from older episodes where she's just been digitally inserted somehow.
I would find that entertaining.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny. I don't think that I even have a specific thing that I want to see with that.
Yeah.
I'm kind of open to whatever it is.
Yeah.
You know, if everyone was right about the Rose thing, awesome. If it's Romana, super cool. Like if it's something else completely different. So I don't think there's anything that I would be disappointed with.
Yeah.
As long as it makes some kind of sense.
I have a question.
Yeah.
What do you think that she keeps repeating the words "run, you clever boy," and "remember"? I'm pretty sure "remember" involves her on some level. What is he running from?
I know. I've actually been thinking about that.
Yeah.
I'd be interested to hear what our viewers and listeners think about that, because I have not come up with an idea. Have you?
No. And to me, that's almost the more compelling. It's one of the more compelling aspects of this mystery to me. Are these words that we haven't we don't even need to know more about her. I want to know more about we have so many clues that don't mean anything right now. We need just some context.
Little direction.
Just a little context.
We're stupid. Help us out.
We're so stupid. and just point us in the right direction, because if we're getting all these theories, she's Rose? No. I mean, we're really grasping at straws as fans. Father Wizard tweets that Jenna Louise Coleman is far more interesting to him than Amy. And despite their lack of chemistry in these few episodes, I would agree.
I think she's a really interesting character. I just want to see the chemistry back.
Yeah.
But I think you're right, and I think that sort of speaks to what you were saying before about being able to rewatch these episodes later and how they'll be very different, and it'll be easier to appreciate them later on, because once we know what the answer to the mystery is, we may go back and see all of these things laid out for us.
Yeah.
I'm not getting it.
I'm going to be so excited for my mind to be blown, because we know it'll be blown. I know you probably watch this show, right, Stephen Moffat? I believe that you're gonna blow my mind.
Fix it, Moffat.
Yeah. I love these sound effects. They always surprise me. Yeah. So next week we have the Crimson Horror, Strax, Jenny, Madame Vastra.
The potato thing.
Yes. I want to see a return to comedy next week. Is the old woman who's playing our villain, is it the same old woman from Smith & Jones? You're not going to get a laugh out of me, Svitek.
I laughed.
No. She looks like the same old woman, and I haven't checked. But she looks similar, and it would be a weird coincidence if it was the same like straw lady alien that we had in that episode, and she's now using Victorian workers. I don't know. I am hilarious, aren't I?
Pretty darn funny.
Yeah.
That was all me laughing.
Yes.
But I mean, I'm just so happy to see these characters again because I love Madame Vastra and Jenny.
Yeah.
They're really funny. They're a fantastic writing opportunity.
Yes, and it's a variable that the Doctor can't control.
Yes.
And there's no way that she gets that Clara gets out of next week's episode not knowing what's going on.
Yeah.
There isn't, because even if the Doctor has completely retconned her knowledge of it, we're gonna get
Strax is gonna accidentally tell her.
Yeah, we'll get reverse memory worming up in this piece. You know,
I love him so much.
Yeah, so we got that episode next week. Then we have Nightmare in Silver, which
Neil
is gonna
Gaiman.
be all kinds of cool. All kinds of cool.
So exciting.
You know what's like the best like subtle difference between the new Cybermen and the old new Cybermen?
What?
It's that we've gone back, instead of circle with a little like line coming out, it's circle with little circle.
Yeah.
And then the mouth is less of an expression. It's just more like, I don't know if you've ever seen in clown work, you're supposed to go to this naive child state, and it's your mouth hanging open, expressionless, with kind of vacant eyes.
Yeah.
And that's what it is to me. It's like these haunted children almost.
Yeah, and I have to say they do creep me out more than the other ones ever have. And to be fair, they've always creeped me out a little bit.
Stompy McStompersons? All right.
Also, clowns creep me out.
Also, clowns creep you. All right, so fair enough. Followed by Name of the Doctor, which, like, the way they're teasing it in these interviews, God, I hope it pays off in the way that they're alluding, because they are making it sound absolutely bananas.
Oh yeah.
You just had to go there, didn't you?
It kind of works.
You have to get the laugh out of me. Svitek. Oh, but Jenna's just gone to pieces over here. Yeah, I have faith. I have faith, and I'm sure all of you at home have faith as well.
Absolutely. All right, guys. Well, definitely send us messages on Twitter and leave your comments. Go to iTunes, rate us, please. There's 60 shows here at AfterBuzz, so make sure you check them out. And if there's a show that we're not doing and you want us to do, make sure you let us know.
Let us know.
Because we'll totally do it.
It's that easy.
We will.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can follow AfterBuzz at AfterBuzz TV. You can follow me at Jenna Busch, B-U-S-C-H, like the beer, not the president. And you can find my writing at voice.fanhattan.com.
All right, you can find me on Twitter at Matt Lieberman. That's MattLieberman. You can find me here on AfterBuzz TV doing the Defiance After Show, which was #1 this week.
Of course it was.
Yes, and that show's great, so you should all check it out. And I'm also on the Mad Men After Show. And if you love live comedy and you live in the Los Angeles area, I perform the first Sunday of every month at the I.O. West Comedy Theater on Hollywood Boulevard as a member of DJ Fawcett. That is 6366 Hollywood Boulevard.
Woo!
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.